So we are here for the Friday for 17/26. MiLB baseball scores for AAA, AA, high and single A. So here, so it's our AAA. So in AAA, Columbus defeated Iowa 5-3. So it was 6-2 earlier. Syracuse 5-3 Screen score. Durham 19-9 Norfolk. It was tied in the top of. It was tied in the third. 2 outs. First for Busher, and that's when it was suspended because they didn't play 4.5. If the home teams won, 5 out of the away team is winning. And for a complete game, you have to finish at least a half minimum. And nope, they didn't call off. They weren't able to call off, so it was tied in anyway. So Busher scored a run in the fourth, and then Nashville run in the sixth, and then 1 run in the eighth for Busher, and 3 in the eighth for Nashville. And then Nashville wins 4-2. And the completion of the Thursday. Jacksonville 4 more shot. High 4-2 run Nicholas. And then in game 2 the winner went to it. It was a 7-inning game. There's only like an inning or 2 left. Like innings 9 if it's gonna say the 8th inning. They need to play 2 innings. They would. Just make the second game a full 8-9 inning doubleheader, 9 innings second game. But since the first game they played 7, they're gonna make the second game 7. And Busher 1 run in the first, 2 in the fourth for Nashville, and then 1 in the 6th for Busher, 2 in the 6th for Nashville, and that's 4-2 for Nashville as well. Into it though here. St. Paul defeats Lehigh Valley 7-4. St. Paul is not on 3 straight. Memphis and Gwinnett and Velvet's top. AAA baseball teams by World record. Memphis 5-3 Gwinnett. Round Rocks 9-7 El Paso. Golden State 13-12 Albuquerque. Sugar 12-6 Rush Lake. Las Vegas follows Reno 10-4. Tacoma 7-6 for Sacramento. And then in the first game of the letter, Buffalo defeats Rochester 6-2. Buffalo with 3 in the second, 1 in the second for Rochester, and then 1 in the 6th for Rochester, and 3 in the 7th for Buffalo, 6-2. Then in game 2 of the doubleheader, Rochester takes that, so they split the doubleheader. Rochester winning 5-3. All the runs were scored in the first inning, 3 for Buffalo and 5 for Rochester, and that's the game. Rochester defeats Buffalo 5-3. Usually you don't see that all runs scored in the first inning, and then both teams just ride the runs all the game. But it happened. We have now in AA, Otuna gets win number 1 this season, 5-3 over Portland. He finally break through. New Hampshire 7-6 over Chesapeake Intendings. December 9-8 win over Reed. Intendings Chattanooga 8-6 over Montgomery. Knoxville shuts up Pennsylvania 3-0. Columbus 6 over Boxy. Richmond 7-4 Hartford. Binghamton 4-1 Radford. Rocket City 7-4 Binghamton. Birmingham. I said Binghamton. Birmingham. Rocket City 7-4 win over Birmingham. Wichita 5-4 winners over Springfield. Midland 9-3 over San Antonio. Tulsa 5-4 over Arkansas. Corpus Christi 10-3 over Rojas Arkansas. Jennings Amarillo 6-5 over Frisco. And then in the doubleheader, Harrisburg wins game 1 with a run in the first and 1 in the fifth, getting on 5 hits. And Erie only had 2 hits in that game. In the second game, Harrisburg follows the Erie 5-2 Erie in zone. Harrisburg had 2 errors in the zone. And then Erie had a run in the first. Both teams, or 2 runs in the first, excuse me. Erie had 2 runs in the first. Both teams had 2 runs in the second. And then Erie had a run in the fourth. And that just went 5-2. And then Asheville falls Winston 8-4. Winston 7-4 Home City. Greensboro 3-2 Brooklyn. Rome 3-2 Jersey Shore. Greenville 8-7 winners over Bowling Green Simons. Frederick 6-1 Hudson Valley. Blake 6-4 CF. Ski Rapids 1-8 over Quad Cities. Tri-City 7-2 Hillsborough. Everett 7-4 G. Then game 1-0 over Vancouver and Simons. And then in game 1 doubleheader between Great King and Great Lakes, it was Great Lakes with 1 in the first, and that was the only run they scored. Dean had 3 in the fourth, 1 in the sixth, and 7 or 4 in the seventh. Win at 8-1, and then game 1 at doubleheader, or game 2 at doubleheader. Excuse me. This game 1 doubleheader, game 2 at doubleheader. Both teams are sloppy. Dean had 5 errors. Great Lakes had 3. And Dean scored with a run in the third, 3 in the fifth for Dean, and then 2 in the fifth for Great Lakes, and 1 in the sixth for Great Lakes, 2 in the seventh for Great Lakes, 5-4. And then we had Lansing, West Michigan at Lansing and doubleheader. That was a makeup of the Thursday makeup, Friday's game, and then Thursday makeup game. And the first game was the West Michigan with 2 wins in the first, 3 in the fifth, and then Lansing scored 2 in the sixth and 2 in the seventh, but they couldn't come back. And West Michigan did score on the seventh, an extra run, but just for insurance. And Lansing falls to West Michigan 6-4, and then in game 2 of the Lansing at 11 hits compared to 4 for West Michigan. West Michigan gets the win 4-1. West Michigan scored 3 in the first and 1 in the seventh, and Lansing's only run was a run in the fifth. Fort Wayne defeats Lake County 1-0 in game 1 of the winner. The only run in the game was by Fort Wayne is 6. And then in the makeup on Wednesday, it was Lake County with win 4-3, and Lake County who scores a run in the third, Fort Wayne with a run in the fourth, 2 in the fifth for Lake County, then 1 in the sixth for both teams, and 1 in the seventh for Wayne, but it didn't even matter. Wednesday is what County wins 4-3. And then Peoria and Wisconsin. Inclement weather makeup and inclement weather due to like rain in the area, thunderstorms in the area. They're going to. Next time they play in either Wisconsin or Peoria in Major League Baseball. If they play again if there's like a scheduled day off for both teams, they'll play it. Then on the scheduled day off, they may just play an early game on the scheduled day off if they don't play each other anymore this season. If they don't, they'll do that in my Major League. Like if they play each other in, say, like Wisconsin, they didn't play anymore in Wisconsin this season in Major League, they would end up making a doubleheader on a Saturday or like the Sunday. They would, and even in Major League, they would probably just make it like the next day doubleheader, make it a Saturday doubleheader, make it a Sunday doubleheader if they could. But I guess they're not going to, and because in Major League Baseball though, in minor league baseball though, if there's games played at Peoria, if those play doubleheaders, the game is supposed to be played at Wisconsin, they'll have it where Wisconsin's the home team, Peoria is the away team for that game, but it's played at Peoria though, Spellport. They will do that though, so it's kind of a different thing that they will, But then typically in Major League, they might just postpone it to like another day in the future, way in the future. They may, if they play at Wisconsin again. But if they don't, they'll play at Peoria, in minor league. But in Major League, they'll play either. If it's the final day of a series, either they'll find a day like they both have off, and they'll play the same game then. Or they'll just not play it. And if it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, for like standings, And then we had Bradenton 7-0 winner Champions League. Palm Beach Friday 2 Jupiter. Clipper Fridays for done. And I kinda like that, my minor league that they're willing to play doubleheaders at either team's ballpark. So it's a one time game might, but in my minor league though, usually they do the 2-for-1 when it comes to tickets. So they usually do like deals anyways is where they do it. If you, it's not like Major League. You know, sometimes you might have a split doubleheader. You might need either 2 tickets or this doubleheader. You know, to watch both teams. You know, or sometimes they might give it to you where for like, hey, buy tickets for this game. You know, we didn't. You know, and the doubleheaders happen. You can come in, go and watch both games, but you have to come out of the ballpark and come into the ballpark again because we want to know, like, is there attendance changing for like the later game? You know, like during saying like a Friday. More, it's different attendance. Same as the 6-4 Daytona. Fredericksburg 10-3 over tomorrow. Hickory 7-5 Rocio. Wilson 7-6 over Hosey. Indianapolis 5-2 over Myrtle Beach. 5-2 Lakeland Farmers. Columbia 5-2 Charleston. Fayetteville 7-2 Augusta. Rancho Cucamonga San Jose 7-2 over Rancho, or 6-2 Rancho Cucamonga San Jose 6. Rancho Cucamonga 2. Inland Bear 5-1 Visual. Fresno 5-4 and Lake Elsinore 8-6-3 over Stockton. So yeah, in minor league they still do the 2-1 games. They usually do like back-to-back 30 minutes apart. 30 minutes apart, maybe 45 minutes apart. That type of thing. Usually they do not like do like the split the letters like I say like 12-10 Eastern and a 6-10 Eastern doubleheader, They typically not do that, or maybe 12-10, 5-10. Sometimes in Major League Baseball they'll do like say like a 12-10, then say game schedule 3 hours, so they'll do say a 5-10 doubleheader second game. Like a really quicker turnaround. They may, but typically they do not though. They may do like a 6-hour difference or 5-6, between the start of the first game and the start of the second game.